with that. I've been asked just to do a little bit of an explanation of where the Google side of it comes from for us, as far as the sort of how it works from the education side, as in the bit of a boring bit in some ways. The Ofsted framework sort of does a bit of a strange thing. In a way, to introduce this bit of the presentation, I want you to sort of travel down this little world of sort of make-believe and fantasy where anything's possible and there are no limitations on time or money or anything else. As you can see on there, Ofsted said that we should be in a situation where that we can supply for every single child everything they need to meet their needs, which would be lovely. Would you believe education, and you may have heard this quote before, this comment before, but education is one of the few places where everybody is put into a group based on their age, everybody is expected to progress at their own pace, based on the teacher supporting every child at their own needs, and then at the end of a key stage, they're expected to reach the same level more or less, give or take a little bit. And it just doesn't work. If you look in any other industry, any other business, you will not find a situation where people are put into groups. Now, I've been doing this job this is my 33rd year, and I've seen the gradual change all the way through. And it's always seemed strange to me when you get some kids coming into year 7 or so full of energy and enthusiasm, they want to get on with it, and you see that energy and enthusiasm gradually ground down to the level where they just conform like everybody else. The ideal would be a world, in a way, that Ofsted sort of wants people to do, even though it doesn't provide the resources, a sort of world where a child comes into a school, the child then enrolls on courses, works their way through courses, and once they've completed GCSE science, for example, that's finished, they've got the GCSE, they can move to a higher level or move on sideways to somewhere else. And the kids can really progress at their own pace. The problem we have at the minute is that when we try this and we look at the school system, you find this. In the 1800s, that's what a classroom looked like. And now, today, that's give or take a bit what a classroom looks like. Now, I'm aware you might go into some schools and there'll be a little bit of differences, but on the whole, you go into schools and it's the same. And I spoke to one of my students when I put these slides on and I was playing around with them, and I asked her, what's the difference? And she said, oh, this one's colourful. But there is no other difference. We've still got the kids pushed into this room, into this group, expect them to conform. Yet at the same time, the pressure is on the teachers to change the system. And it is very, very difficult. Because the only way you can do it is this way. If I want to provide independent study for my kids, I have to provide worksheets to the level, not just a little bit these days where, oh, you finished that work, Stephen, here's a little bit more for you to get on with. I've got to progress him as far forward as possible, or her as far forward as possible. And if they finish that one, move on to the next one. Now imagine, that's all very well, but at the end of the day, I've then got to work out where that child is. And for the next lesson, the following day or a couple of days later, I've then got to provide for that child again. So far it's been nice. If you're given a worksheet out, the next day everybody starts at the same place again. But that trouble is it leads to frustration, and it doesn't lead to where we want to be. If you try it this way, you end up with a massive amount of workload. Trying to aim at the targets for these kids, allowing them to progress as far as possible, ends up more and more paperwork. Now, personally, I've nothing against marking. But marking has got to be something that is useful for my time, and a manageable sort of thing. And working this way, it just does not work, because you cannot spend time going through work again and again. People need a life as well. And if you try doing it, you end up with a situation where you end up with your teachers stressed, and you end up with the absences. Now, at our school in particular, we've had a lot of staff off over this last 12, 18 months with long-term stress. And that stress is basically workload, leading to the teachers coming to the class stressed, leading to the teachers falling out with the kids more because the teachers are stressed, the kids sense it, so they fall out with them as well. It just gets a sort of decreasing circle where people get into worse and worse situation. And then you end up with a situation where dedicated, hard-working teachers are off. You end up with supply teachers in, so the spiral carries on going and going down. Now, I know it sounds very negative at this bit, and it is. So, what's the solution? Well, originally, the solution was get a computer suite sorted. Get the kids into a computer suite. And then they can work on the computers, which is good, but then you go into the computer suites, and I remember one teacher, this is a few years ago, she tried the first time getting a couple of computers into one room with the kids, And she was very, very nervous and very hesitant as far as the computers went, but she tried. Friday afternoon, year 9, bottom group year 9. She came out of that class in tears, and she said, I will never use a computer ever again, because the systems just crashed. There was only a few computers, there weren't enough computers for all the kids, so they were waiting to log on, they were trying to share computers, then they were falling out, then they were pinching keyboards off each other and mice off each other. And you might say, well, if Ofsted came in, it would be, oh, that's bad classroom management. It's not. She tried so hard to move those kids on, and it just didn't work. So what was the next solution? We'll get some more computer rooms. Computer rooms cost money, rooms are out of action, you've got to book them. You still can't use them, because what happens is you get in one lesson, you book the computer room, and then at the end of that lesson, the kids haven't quite finished, but you couldn't book it for the next lesson because you didn't know you would need it, or you did book it and it stopped somebody else using it. And of course, it all costs money. One friend of mine, he made some comment that as far as IT goes, IT will take all the budget and also all the energy as well. And I wasn't sure whether he meant electrical energy or energy from the teachers, but it certainly works that way. It takes a lot of energy. So we end up with this situation. So we were in this situation. We've also got rooms which are very quickly getting out of date because, as you know, the money is not there. We have machines which, we have a technician now who's been with us just over 12 months, and he said to me, those machines were the ones that were getting on when he was a student at the school, and now he's working as a technician, and he's spending time trying to get the machines working. Now Vitalize have come along and helped a lot, putting a piece of software on called Neverware, which sort of revamps the old PCs a little bit and actually gets them running as Chromebooks, which works really, really well, which is something, if you take away nothing else from me, have a word with some of the techies and just find out. It basically turns a PC, an old dying PC, into a Chromebook, which then runs really quickly again, so that's worth looking at. But those machines, I went to a primary school that recently, they got 25 machines they've had for a long time. They were just about getting ready to throw them away. And I said, don't throw them away, have a look at this software. So they're looking at doing this as well, because obviously money's getting very, very tight. So what's the solution? Well, the solution for us is getting to this stage, in 1 minute, where we are moving to the Chromebooks. We're getting to the stage now where parents are engaging. As I said, our school is very slow to move with the times, and we're actually moving parents on. We've actually got a process now where the year 8s moving into year 9s, because we started the 3-year GCSE course, are actually running a one-to-one device plan. So hopefully that is going to work through. Just as a little bit of an overview of how the Chromebooks work, I know some of you know what Chromebooks are, some of you may not. There's a little video, which we're going to show any second now. Just goes over a little bit, it is an American video, it's American school, but it shows you what they do and why they're so useful. And I'll stand here.
Introducing Chromebooks for education, a simple way to bring the power of the web into the classroom, manage school-wide sets of hardware, and keep students focused. For instance, Chromebooks leave more time for teaching by booting up in just 8 seconds. That's less time than it takes to make a paper airplane. Even after entering sleep mode, they resume working immediately. And unlike most notebook computers, Chromebooks have a battery that lasts up to 8 hours. So even at the end of a long school day, they're still going strong. Built-in Wi-Fi and optional 3G allow Chromebooks to connect to the web anytime, anywhere. Chromebooks are also built around a web browser, which means everything is stored online. Students and teachers can simply log on to any machine to access their emails, documents, and personal settings. So there are no more excuses for missing or incomplete homework. Without the need for constant software updates and yearly re-imaging, Chromebooks make it easy to provide each student with their own computer. Schools can manage an entire fleet of Chromebooks with just a few clicks. Administrators can configure and manage computers and user accounts via a web-based console. They can also control which web apps and extensions users can add. Chromebooks stay up to date with the latest features and fixes, so IT managers can spend less time updating hardware and more time focusing on the important things. Integrated security provides multiple layers of protection that defends computers and the entire network from malware and viruses. The Chromebooks for Education program includes everything from the computers and operating system to updates, web-based management, and extended warranty and support from Google. At the end of the day, Chromebooks for Education enable schools to be more efficient in terms of classroom time, IT resources, and technology budgets, which ultimately leads to happier teachers, students, and parents. To find out more about getting Chromebooks for your school, visit google.com/Chromebook/education.